and herewith I'm gonna open and start our Hell-o-ween meeting as being open. Dear ladies and gentlemen, dear Graf Dracula, on behalf of myself, Graf Dracula, here from dark St. Petersburg, I would like to welcome our foreign guests who are with us today, as well as our faraway Moscow friends and all other foreign people visiting us today. I think Olga is with us, and Irina. I don't know if you're still in the UK somewhere or back in dark Russia. I would like to say thank you very much that everyone's been on time here. I need to apologize that my delay has really something to do with my makeup. My wife's birthday is today, and I could not find in any of those small little hundreds and thousands of makeup bags any red color to make up for the blood. So today I'm a little bit dry and looking forward to suck the blood out of you throughout this meeting. Herewith I declare our meeting for open and introduce and hand over to our Toastmaster of the day, who is Michael Wader.
Good afternoon, everybody. Oh, it's Halloween. It's time for the goblins and the ghosts and the Draculas and the Batmans to come out of the ground. You know, some people know what Halloween is and some folks are a little confused. If you go back many, many, many centuries, and I did my history lessons, even back to the Greeks, and then forward a few thousand years to the Irish, I found that it was not only All Saints' Day that they celebrated the saints, but they also celebrated the bodies coming out of the ground on Halloween night, one night a year when the souls rise and haunt the earth. So, as we see with Halloween, we get dressed up in some costumes, wear a mask, be a little funny. And the best part of it is it's not only serious fright, it's also fun. It's super fun to go to a Halloween party and dress up and act like somebody you are not. So today you had that opportunity. Some of you have taken advantage of it. Some of you have not. Those who have not put on a costume, be careful. Dracula is here, and he may be visiting you to pay a price because you did not follow the instructions and wear some kind of costume. Yeah, so you better be careful. Otherwise, you're going to be in trouble. I warn that for all of you. Halloween is a festivity that started in Western Europe and spread to America after that. And then America made it blossom and made it famous around the world. And as expats as myself travel around the world, we always try to get the local people involved in Halloween parties because they're fun. You get to dress up, you get to act silly and stupid and crazy, whatever. It's a time of the year just to relax and have a little fun. Everybody's been working hard and you need that stress relief. Halloween is one of those stress reliefs. Today, on my team of folks that I'm going to have, I will have a grammarian. My grammarian is Irina. Irina, would you like to tell us a little bit about your grammarian task?
Yes, thank you, Michael. Can you guys hear me okay? Yes, great, fantastic. As you can see, my costume today is a little bit about 2020. The possible reason for the pandemic to start, and my role as a grammarian of the day is to listen to you guys speak, note down all the great things you say, the turn of the phrase, nice grammar, and also jot down some of the issues we might have that we later might work on a little bit. Another responsibility that I have for today is the word of the day, and I'm going to demonstrate my screen now so that you all can see it. Right, the word of the day today is vital. I hope you can see it on your screens. So it has two possible meanings. The first one is absolutely necessary, essential. For example, air is vital for people. It means that we cannot live without it. And the second meaning is full of energy or lively. For example, she's a beautiful, vital girl. I chose this word especially for the Hell-o-ween meeting, because while we are celebrating the dead rising from the ground, we should not forget about life. And vital comes from the word vita, which means life. So whether you try to incorporate this word into your speech or comments today, or you just think about what's vital for you right here, right now, it's all good to me. Just try and use this word as often. Mr.
Thank you very much, Irina. Appreciate that. As the grammarian telling us what is vital to the success of a good meeting. So now we also know that as good Toastmasters, it is vital that we learn how not to use pauses and interruptions during our speaking. So therefore, I'm going to ask Shishaku to tell us just a little bit about what he's looking for as our counter today. Shishaku, over to you. Unmute, please.
Okay, okay. Can you hear me? Can you hear me? Okay, okay. The R counter is R would something like that annoying to sound. I don't count. So today is to first time to the role in the St. Petersburg, the Toastmaster crowd. So because so I'm tried, but I'm the correctly I can do or not. I don't know. I'm tried. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you. I'm sure you're going to do a very good job. There's no doubt that you're going to be able to be successful because you have participated before with us. And I know you go to other Toastmasters meetings, so you know the role, you know what needs to be done, and I'm sure you're going to be successful at it. We agreed a few months ago that in our meeting that we would start off with a joke at the beginning and we would have a joke master. Well, today our joke master is wearing a black mask and a black hat. And I'm going to ask him just to give us a little bit of humor, not long, so that we can get into the right mood and the right mode so that we can go out and give all these vital speeches that we need to give. Mr. Randall, will you take it over, please?
Thank you very much, Michael. As you, I think, have intimated, humor is vital to the success of our meetings. And if you joined us last 2 weeks ago for our last meeting, I told you a joke. I told you actually several jokes about ducks. And one duck joke in particular I want to repeat because I want to explain a little bit. A duck waddles up to the side of the road and clearly is thinking about crossing it. A chicken sees him in the distance and he runs up to him and says, "Hey buddy, don't even think about it. If you do it, you'll never hear the end of it." And it's funny, but why is it funny? Now it's funny because there's some context here. So coming from North America, like the pirate to my left over here comes, as a kid, we have this whole litany of jokes about chickens crossing the road. And it starts from a very, very simple joke. Why did the chicken cross the road? And you think, what could it be? What could it be? What could it be? And the answer is to get to the other side. So the humor in that is that you're expecting something pithy, something spectacular, but you just get a simple, mundane answer that he crossed the road to get to the other side. But the funny thing about this is for kids and for adults, it's created a whole genre of chicken crossing the road jokes. And I want to tell you a few today. Why did the rubber chicken cross the road? It wanted to stretch its legs. Why did the chewing gum cross the road? Because it was stuck to the feet of the chicken. Why did the dinosaur cross the road? Because the chicken wasn't around yet. And then we get a few jokes that Irina might appreciate, because this requires a little bit more nuanced understanding of English. Why did the cow cross the road? To get to the other side. And why did the whale cross the road? To get to the other tide. Why did the chicken cross the playground? To get to the other slide. Why did the duck cross the road? To prove he wasn't chicken. And finally, why did the fish cross the road? to get to his school. So, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to send you a little note after this clarifying what some of the word essences here mean, but you will encounter, if you read anything in English, I'm sure in the newspaper you're going to read about chickens crossing the road. So just beware. Thank you very much, Mr. Toastmaster.
Very good.
Over
Thank
to
you, Randall. Randall, I have one follow-on question for you. The question is, why did the Rotarian cross the road?
Probably to pay his dues.
Very good. Yay. See, you got good answers. You have to, this is part of thinking quick. And later on today, Rami is going to give us table topics. And I hope you all understand that that's a lot of what we're talking about here, being able to respond quickly with words that make sense. And table topics is all about that. And Rami is going to do that later this afternoon. Okay, so it's about time, if I'm not mistaken, if I haven't missed anything. Who did I miss? Oh, timer. Where's our timer at? Timer. Randall's our timer. Randall, we have 3 speeches today. Will you tell us a little bit about the timing requirements?
Yes, I will, Michael. The timing requirements are 3 speeches. The first speech is Valeria Holodkova. She will be giving an icebreaker, 4 to 6 minutes. She will have, she can speak under by 30 seconds. So our rule is that for the prepared speech, if she's at 3:30, that's still fine, but we encourage 4 to 6 minutes. Over 6 minutes is too much. And for the second speech, which will be by Michael Vader, 5 to 7 minutes. And the third speech, Konstantin Kutz, 5 to 7 minutes. Aside from that, we will also be tracking the time today of table topic speakers who have 1 to 2 minutes to speak. And our speech evaluators have 2 to 3 minutes to speak. And to help you with this today so that you know what the timing is about, I'll be using my shared, my backgrounds. So I will just, I think you all know how this works, but I will be showing green, yellow, or red. And there you go. So please pay attention to your timing. And if you go over the red, then I might start waving and flailing, and we might start clapping to help you on your way. Thanks very much. Over to you.
Very good. Thank you, Randall, for being our timer. You are a multifunctional person today. That's great. And that's what Toastmasters is all about also. We all need to understand that we're all on this team and this event together, and people need to chime in. And if you have a little bit of experience at these things, in the future, you can jump in and take a role and help the club have a good meeting, which is very important. Okay, our speeches. Today, our first speech is going to be given to us by Valeria. She's going to do her icebreaker with our club. Now, Valeria is a seasoned Toastmaster. She's been around for a while. And she's going to do an icebreaker with us, which is going to be interesting because sometimes our icebreakers are brand new to Toastmasters and are not familiar with it. In this case, she is. Her evaluator today is going to be Walter. Walter, will you tell us a little bit about the requirements for Valeria's speech, please?
Yes, I will. Thank you very much, Mr. Toastmaster. Today, the icebreaker session, as some of us might be familiar, is for members to introduce themselves, give a little bit of background of what they are, and actually they are free to choose of what topic they want to share, of which topic they would like to share with us at all. To be very precise, the evaluation criteria says it lists the specific goals and expectations of whatever she wants us to know about herself as a first introductory speech, as we would say it. I think it's not the first speech Valeria Holodkova did in her life. That's why I'm looking forward to listen to more.
Thank you, Walter. Ladies and gentlemen, without any further ado, I'd like to give you to one of the people who is important to Toastmasters in Russia. She's an area director. She's a frequent member of Toastmasters. And today she's breaking ice with us. We're very lucky to have her. Ladies and gentlemen, I give you Valeria.
A dark concert hall full of people, teachers, parents, friends, all silent. And the only bright spot is in the circle on the huge scene with a black grand piano and a little girl sitting with her hands on her knees. In just a few seconds, this girl will open her eyes, her fingers will touch the piano keys, and the sound of mysterious play, December by Pyotr Tchaikovsky, will break off the tense silence, moving the audience up and down by this captivating melody. But now it's the moment of silence, and all you can hear is your own heart beating in your ears. Mr. Toastmaster, fellow members, dear guests, it's now that I clearly realize that that was the moment when I understood that no matter how hard I will try, I am not and will never become a pianist. I was 9 years old. It's not a perfect age to make conscious decisions on how your future will look like. Only years later, when I was looking for the answers, I fished out this flashback from my child memory, and things got so much clearer. Now look at yourselves. Are you what you want to be? Why have you decided to become a teacher, a doctor, a nuclear scientist, or a florist, or a stand-up comedian, or a Toastmaster? Is this what the child inside you wished that much? Is this child comfortable with this decision? It's a very hard question, and most of us don't even try asking it. I myself haven't asked it for years, until some time ago, I went to a Toastmasters conference where I was literally forced to face this question. Only it was not a question, it was a word: passion. Everyone was talking and thinking about passion. Speeches, workshop, masterclasses, there was even a test of 15 questions on how to discover and follow your true passion. A test. Instead of taking this test, I made my own choice. I took a journey back to the past, to the most remote corners of my child memories, hoping to find the answers there. You may think you don't remember that much from your past, but your memory is actually quite tricky. Believe me, when you try this journey, it feels like you're looking for a way through the fog, wading through it, and boom, suddenly there's a light, a flashback. So I stepped on this path, looking for my answers, and I found the flashbacks, many. I already told you the one that could have misled me to the wrong direction. I'm going to tell you another story. I was 7. I was at my second year at school, and I have to admit I was a nice girl, good girl with good marks. I was always ready with my homework, ready to learn new things. And we had a great teacher and loved her so much, and I think she responded back to me. She was a young lady of, say, 25 years old. And one cold winter, she invited me at her place. Well, now it may seem a little weird, but 30 years ago, that was totally fine. So I found myself sitting in her apartment, just beside her to a desk with a huge pile of exercise books from my classmates. That day we wrote a dictation. So what she did, she checked my exercise book and gave me a 5. And then she looked at me and said, "Hey, do you want to help me? Take a red pencil and take half of those exercise books, and could you please check the dictation and put the marks? Would you do this for me?" Would I? Oh my goodness. Really? I've never felt so much trusted and so much appreciated. That was like a miracle to me. So one of the most rewarding moments of my life. Recollecting this very flashback, I see how that moment awoke my passion for teaching, for giving evaluations, for giving feedbacks. I'm pretty sure that it was no one else but this lady, this teacher of mine, choosing the right child, the right moment, and the right action that actually determined who I really wanted to be. I'm not a school teacher, no, but Evaluating, giving feedback, and helping people learn new things have become the huge part of my life. And it's always interesting to know where it all started, right? So why don't you stop for a moment and turn back into your child memories, into the past, and look for the strongest, the most emotional flashback in your life. Ask a child in yourself what you really want, and I'm sure you'll find something fantastically amazing, something that was deeply hidden in you or you thought that you lost long time ago, something that can still inspire and motivate you stronger than anything else, something brought back to you by those powerful flashbacks, your true passions. Mr. Toastmaster?
Thank you very, very much. Thank you very much. This is a great way to do it. I think that your passion led you to get into Toastmasters. And I've met you live and I see you on screen, and I can tell that you want to spread that passion out and you want to get other people to participate in it. So I think you're doing very, very well. You're going in the right direction. Now, our second speaker is supposed to be me, but I have asked Randall to introduce me. I don't know if he saw that or not. I'd rather have him introduce me than me introduce myself. And it's only going to take us a couple sentences, Randall. So if you'll please do that, I would appreciate it.
Well, it would be my pleasure, Michael. What can I say about Michael Waiter? All of us know him as our most prodigious speaker in our club. Michael speaks and he enjoys speaking. He speaks around the world and he has a lot of things to say. And he has a very debonair way often in which to deliver them. He's often very emotional. He's often very emotive. And he has an enormous vitality inside him that he just wants to unleash. So ladies and gentlemen, our speaker today, Michael Waiter. Let me just see. Michael is going to speak today about the Russian dilemma. The Russian dilemma, Michael Waiter.
Thank you very much, Randall. I appreciate that introduction because everybody has dilemmas. And here's my question for you. For all of you, could you use a Russian proverb to settle a negotiation? Is it possible? You see, I'm from America and I started my company in 1995. And when I started my company, just for the heck of it, I don't know why, I decided to call my company Leadership Excellence International. Now, I had no international customers, had no plan on going international at that time. So my first 5 years, I only went overseas 3 times, Taiwan, China, and Korea. And all I did was give a keynote presentation at a quality conference. A big deal, but only single trips, very, very short. For 5 years, I didn't have any international. Then in 2000, somebody who knows I was interested, a friend of mine, said, Michael, we have a client who's got facilities in India, Sri Lanka, and Kenya, one company, and they need someone to go to all 3 locations. Now, if you've never been to India, you're in for a rude awakening. It's very, very different. Sri Lanka, just across the channel, is not much different from India. But when you fly to Kenya, you're in Africa. Now, Olga, who's with us today, she's from Johannesburg, South Africa. But I went to Kenya and I was in a part of the country where it wasn't quite so civilized, a lot of unrest. This is extremely interesting. I love it. I love it when I can go somewhere where they're going to challenge me with the cultures, with the language, with the system, and I have to adapt. I have to change a little bit this way or change a little bit that way so that I can get those people drawn into what I need to teach them. So that was going fine for a couple of years. And then I decided, I don't like Sri Lanka so much and I don't like Kenya so much, but I do like India. So I opened up an office in India in 2002. People were coming to my training. I trained over 150 lean trainers who were going to train other people. I was trying to spread the word there. Well, as I was doing that, I still had some customers back in the United States. So I was going United States and India and United States and India. And in the middle of all this back and forth, Malaysia called me. Anybody here been to Malaysia? Oh, it's very, very nice. They speak English. Yes, they have about 70% Muslim, but these are all nice people. The others are Indian and Chinese mixed in with the Muslim. It's a great culture. Warm weather all year long. How's that sound to you people here in Russia? Nice, comfortable temperature all year. I loved it there, and the food was good. So now I had India, US, and Malaysia. A year later, I get a call from Russia. Russia said, hey, Michael, will you come to Russia? I said, okay, I can, but I'm very, very busy. That's what, come here and talk to us. So I flew to Ekaterinburg in the middle of February with a meter of snow, minus 25. Cold. That's okay. I only worked there for a week and then I left. I didn't go back for 6 months and then I did it again. I only had a little bit of work in Russia. Now, Malaysia started to grow for me and America started to go down for me. In America, my 3 workers were all over 70 years old and wanted to retire. So I had to negotiate a settlement with them so that they could leave my company and have something left over. So we worked out a package where they would be able to continue to do a little work on the side that I would help them with, but not work for my company, their own company. It was a negotiation a little bit, let them ease into retirement. You know, so we're going to do some accommodations here, that type of negotiation, accommodate them, accommodate me. Worked out okay. So my American side was closed. Then Malaysia picked up. Malaysia gave me more business, more money, more revenue, more trips. I loved it. It was great. Meanwhile, Russia's going on just a little bit, very little, but still going. Then in India, I found out that all the people I had trained started competing against me. They went to my customers and they said, we can do the same work Michael does at 1/4 of his price. Indian salaries are lower. So I had a difficult dilemma to do. I had one man there working for me who was also 70. It was just him and his wife, and we wanted to close the business, but he needed some security. So I did a little accommodation. I said, you know, let's collaborate here. I need you to keep me alive, but I need to keep you alive. We have office equipment and we have a car that we had bought. I said, take the office equipment, take the car, sell them, keep the money. Is that going to be enough for you? And he said, that's more than enough for me. He said, I'm very happy with your negotiation of letting me have all this stuff. So I said, great, we closed India. Now I had Malaysia and Russia. And Malaysia wanted more. In 2009, I got lucky. Russia struck. And it struck with a 4-year contract. Lots of money, lots of work, big offer, but they wanted me to work full time. Now, if I work there full time, what do I have to do to Malaysia? Give it up. Do you want to give up Malaysia for Russia? Difficult choice. I didn't want to do it. So I told them I want to work 2 weeks in a month in Russia. And they said, Michael, you got to work at least 4. I said, no. I said, 2. And they said, okay, how about 3? And I said, no, 2. We went back and forth and back and forth. So I talked to my colleagues in Malaysia and I said, how much time do you need me in a year? And they said, Michael, as a minimum, bare minimum, we need you 10 weeks a year. I said, okay, if I come 10 weeks a year, will you keep working with me to provide customers and revenue and all the sources? They said, 10 weeks, we can do it. I came back to Russia and I said, how about I give you 2 weeks in a month? They said, but that's only 24 weeks. I said, that's okay. Will you take 24 weeks? We negotiated back and forth. And I said, you will be more than happy with the results. They said, okay, 2 weeks a month. So 24 weeks in Russia, 10 weeks in Malaysia. That's 34 weeks. Okay, now I'm getting to a better number. I still want to go to America and see my family a little bit. And I want to rest. I'm over 60 already. I got to rest. So what I did was I negotiated with Russia, Malaysia, and myself. I gave myself rest, I gave Malaysia work, and I gave Russia work. And the proverb that is Russian is that if you chase 2 rabbits, you catch none. Well, guess what? I chased 2 rabbits and caught them both. Madam Table Topics, or Madam Toastmaster, back to you. Okay. Now, according to our schedule, I'm back in my Toastmaster role again. According to our schedule, we're supposed to take a 10-minute break. So the way I like to work this is that, oh, I forgot something first. Randall, what about our timing for our speeches? No, we got 3 speeches today, right?
Yeah, we've got one more speech, Michael.
I'm surprised. I looked at the agenda. I looked at my agenda I had before the meeting, and it said 2, and now there's 3 with Constantine. I apologize, Constantine. Please accept my apologies. Okay. We have a 3rd speaker today. Our 3rd speaker is going to be Constantine Coates, and I believe Walter is going to be his evaluator. Is that correct? Walter, will you please tell us a little bit about what the requirements are for his speech?
Yes, sure. Me, Mr. Toastmaster, I would, before I'm going to do that, thank you very much. And I need to get back on screen our Toastmaster of the day and not Michael Wader. Is that possible then? Probably that's what makes it a little bit quirky.
Yes, he's coming back. Soon as Constantine starts talking, the pirate will come back.
Oh, perfect, perfect. That makes me much more comfortable. Thank you very much for that. Dear Constantine, he is today being evaluated by myself, and his job for today with his speech is connect with your audience, but the small little thing is always on the run with a topic which is unfamiliar or untypical for our club. So I guess by choosing the title of No Firearms Allowed, we will find out more interesting stuff. And maybe at the end, we'll have an idea if we had some specialists on board or not. That's why I'm looking forward to hear Constantine Coates on his approach with an unusual topic for our club.
Thank you, Walter. Constantine is a relatively new member to our club. And we have seen since he's been here, he is passionate. He wants to learn. He wants to speak. Because of work and other things, he's had to miss a few months. We understand that. Now we thought he was going to be gone, and we're very happy to see that he's still with us. So today we're going to hear from him again, and we're looking forward to that. Today, I give you Constantine Coates with something about firearms. Say it again, please. Randall?
Yeah, the title of the speech is No Firearms
Allowed. No firearms allowed.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir. So I'm gonna start with this famous quote. I think you all guys already heard it at least once. God created all men, but Samuel made them equal. And I'm gonna proceed with such as Valeria with the flashback from my previous life. My first experience shooting a firearm was during my university years. Then I was a Marine cadet. This was part of the drill, and the instructor provided us with a safety briefing and all the equipment. Then we went to the shooting range and stood in the line waiting for our turn. I remember holding the Makarov pistol in my hand, and it was actually a heavy piece of metal for a 17-year-old youngster. But my excitement was much heavier, realizing the power of this tool. Dry facts from the lecture came across my mind: 9mm caliber, shooting range 50 meters, efficient range 25 meters, bullet energy 300 joules, started to finally make sense when after seeing it in action and feeling the recoil. The officer said, "Into position." I loaded the gun with the magazine, switched the safety catch, and pulled the bolt. Aim. I pointed the gun on the target. And I was holding the gun with both of my hands. Fire. I finally pulled the trigger, and the bullet left the barrel within a speed of light. It hit the target. Until approximately 12,000 years ago, all humans practiced hunting and gathering. Hunting was quite a vital skill to sustain the life. These people had to hunt to provide food on the tables. And with the advanced food industry nowadays, people can survive and prosper without any hunting skills. But however, some people decide to own guns for various reasons now. For example, for self-defense, for sports, for the reason of personal beliefs, as a requirement with the line of career, such as military, police, or the opposite, and for others, hunting and collecting of armor units is the passion. Guns can be destructive and bring a lot of grief to people's lives, but guns also save lives and help their owners to protect their possessions. So it's hard to say if guns are really good tool or not, but easy to say. It's extremely fun to destroy targets and other stuff with a metal extension of your hand. So let's see how firearms regulations are different in countries all around the world. The Second Amendment of the United States Constitution recognizes the individual right to keep and bear firearms. Estimated 33% of citizens own guns or used to own, and they have the biggest number per capita in the world, which makes the United States the world's paradise for gun owners. Canada is another country in America with a relatively liberal approach for owning a gun. It's prohibited to carry a gun in the streets, but it's allowed to own semi-automatic gun. After the fall of Soviet Union, Czechs sought to restore their gun rights and indeed have some of Europe's best. Serbia. Rural Serbs have a strong history of gun ownership, and licenses can be obtained to buy most classes of firearms. The Swiss have one of the world's highest rates of gun ownership at around 30%, and also one of the lowest crime rates. By the way, funny fact, until 2010, every male was required to have a semi-automatic rifle at their homes or at the storage nearby for the purpose of national defense. The service is now voluntarily. Norway, Sweden, and Finland are Scandinavian countries with strong hunting and competitive shooting traditions. Norway notably has one of the highest rates of gun ownership in the world and permit processes to obtain most of types of firearms. Let's talk about Russia. Russia is considered one of the major world small arms exporters. However, individuals are not allowed to own small firearms unless they have a top business profile and there is a threat for their lives. A license only serves as a carrying permit for hunting and sports. With those, then you need to transport them. Russian citizens may not own semi-automatic, cannot own semi-automatic guns and or guns with a magazine capacity more than 10 cartridges. So my position for this being, I don't think it's that everyone should be allowed to carry a gun on the public, because it's really absurd. But if it's your jam, if you want to go outside and smash an old forbidden dwelling with a grenade or shoot a pack of wolves with an AK-47, why not? They are bad guys anyways. I'm clearly envious of those Yanks and Swisses shooting with their machine guns and grenades on Instagram, having a big fun. But when I think that they don't even know what is селедка под шубой, or how cool it is to dive into ice after the hell hot sauna and There are so much more secret Ruski stuff they don't have no idea about. I feel a little bit better. Chaos does not happen just because you hold a tool in your hand. Chaos is the aftermath of the corrupted mindset. Back to you, Toastmaster of the day.
I need to go sit down and have a piva and talk about firearms. I don't know if you own any, but I own a few. So it's an interesting topic. And around the world, it's an interesting topic. So it's a good one. And I think most of us do not discuss it very often. So is your topic different from today? Yeah, a little bit different, a little bit controversial. So that's a good job. Thank you very, very much. All right, Mr. Timer. Now back to you. As I started to go before, was my mistake. I apologize. Mr. Timer, will you give us the time for the 3 speeches, please?
Yes, Mr. Toastmaster, it would be my pleasure. So the first speaker of the day who loved to speak spoke for 7 minutes and 24 seconds. So a little bit over the deadline, but still within the limit for the ballot. Our second speaker, Valeria, spoke, sorry, I'm going backwards. Valeria was our first speaker. Valeria had to speak 4 to 5 minutes. She spoke for 6 minutes and 3 seconds. That's right, 4 to 6 minutes. She spoke for 6 minutes and 3 seconds, so within time. And finally, Konstantin pushed it right to the limit, and he spoke for 7 minutes and 30 seconds. So he's over the speech requirement timing, but within time for the ballot. So shortly, the ballot master will prepare a ballot and share that in the chat for you to all vote. So all 3 are eligible to vote, Mr. Toastmaster.
Okay,
Yes?
all right. So ladies and gentlemen, usually during our meetings, we normally take a short break. Use the restroom, get a drink of water, whatever you wish. Stay on here and chat socially. That's certainly up to you because we do believe people are social animals. You can stay here and chat. So look at your watch or your timing device, whatever you have. I have got 14:53. So at 15:03, we will be back here and we'll start again in 10 minutes. We'll see you all in 10 minutes. Thank you. Okay, we're coming up on 10 minutes. We're gonna get started again. I'd like to remind everybody, some of you were away when Randall made the announcement. If you will go to the chat box, and on the chat box, you will see a message from Randall. And in there, it has the URL to click on there and vote. Please click on that link, go there and vote on the 3 speeches from Valeria, myself, and Konstantin. Please make a choice so Randall can tally those up. Thank you all very, very much for voting. Randall will be able to see how many votes we get in there. Right now, we've got 10 people on board, Randall, so there should be 10.
We have 9 people have voted.
Okay.
So we've got another minute.
Okay.
It's okay. You can proceed forward, and I will prepare the.
No problem. Okay, we're going to reconvene. Yay! You got to yell. You got to make some noise. You got to be a little bit excited. Excited. You're excited. I'm going to make you walk the plank. If you're not excited, you better get excited. It's fun being evil, you know. Sometimes being evil is fun. So I'm going to turn you over to Mr. Rami. Now, he doesn't want you to see what he looks like today. He's been away for a little while, and maybe he's changing his appearance. I'm not sure, but he's going to be our table topics master today. So, Mr. Rami, I turn this ship over to you. All yours.
Thank you, Michael. Thank you so much. So here for the table topics, our goal is to help the members to think on their feet and speak on a given subject between 1 to 2 minutes, and to give the opportunity for people who didn't participate in the speech to have the role. So who would like to participate? Who is the first one? Who? Okay, I can see in the chat box we have Irina. Okay, so that's first. Anna second. Randall third. Who else? Who else wants to participate as well? Nice. Walter, and then Valeria. Okay, lovely. Okay, so we'll start with Irina. Irina, are you ready? Yeah. Let me just share my screen.
Turn on your microphone, Irina.
Right. Okay.
Mhm.
Oh my God.
So you enter the metro and everyone screams and runs out. Why?
Oh my gosh. Actually, it's been a while since I last visited our metro. I can imagine all kinds of reasons why people can be screaming and running out. First of all, maybe they just learned that the price has gone up again, and they realize now that we're not prepared to pay, I don't know, 100 rubles for a ride, and they just scream and run out of the station. Um, Another reason might be just, you know, people, as Michael said before, people are gregarious creatures. They live in the society, right? So, and if one person starts running and screaming as a prank, other people can follow without fully realizing what's actually going on because they don't have time to double check. They're panicking, their adrenaline is kicking in, and they just need to follow everyone. As simple as that, right? So I'm not sure if it's happening, for example, on April the 1st, right? Fool's Day. Why not? Also possible. You know, similar thing happened to me once. I was in Bali, but it wasn't a prank, it was the real deal. When there was an earthquake, 6.5, well, whatever. I'm not sure what is the system of measuring the earthquakes, but it was pretty serious. And I was actually in this crowd of people screaming and running out of the hotel. So it's a pretty dangerous thing, you know, because you can be hurt in the process, in the middle of doing it. So not a nice thing. Hopefully just a prank and nobody would get hurt because of it. Thank you.
Very good, excellent. Thank you, Irina. Next, we move on. Anna Soldatova. Anna, are you ready?
Yes, I am.
Okay, here is your challenge. You are the host of a great Halloween party. A loud sound comes from the living room. Why? What happened?
Okay. I'm host of the Great Halloween Party, and I like to be a host for parties because people make fun. They are dancing and they are drinking, and all of them have beautiful Halloween costumes, and everyone comes here to relax and to have a relief because as Michael said today, it's vital for us to have a pause, to have a time to forget about corona crisis and other stressful things. So I'm pretty sure that this scary sound from living room and maybe something um, outstanding, it would be the scream of joy, and maybe people will loud because they listen their favorite song because I'm pretty I have very good music taste, and I'm sure that my party will lead to a lot of fun, and people will scream only enjoying the party. Thank you.
Very good. Thank you so much, Anna Salvatova. So next is Randar. Are you ready, Randar?
I'm ready. I'm ready.
Are you gonna
I'm
time
ready.
yourself, or are we gonna time you?
I will time myself. I'm going to press the button. You give me the question, I press the button.
Okay. A guy wearing a pumpkin costume is sad and angry. Why? What happened?
It's completely obvious what's wrong. His pumpkin that he's wearing on his head is rotting, and inside it's got flies and maggots, and they're squirming around on top of his head. So he made a mistake. He shouldn't have taken a real pumpkin and put it on his head, carved it out and put it on his head. He should have put on a fake pumpkin, maybe something made of paper mache or some other light, breathable substance with, of course, a mask, because during these times we need a mask in front of our pumpkin head. But it's clear, Rami, you should never ever put on top of your head a cut out real pumpkin with all this, slimy bits coming down into your clothes and with the maggots just starting to crawl up your face. So that's why he's upset, Rami. Over to you.
Thank you so much. Next, Walter. Walter, are you ready?
I don't know who Walter is. It's Dracula, Mr. Anonymous. Can you please refer to
Yes, Mr. Dracula.
It's Gandalf.
You have a special one. Are you ready?
Go ahead.
Okay. The mother yells, "Who let the pumpkins out?" Why? At who?
The mother yells, probably mine, "Who let the pumpkins out?" Why? At who? Right, this is very easy due to the fact that Hell-o-ween obviously is considered also for abusing some substances, which is publicly allowed during those days, as the humankind allows doing so. My mother was a little bit tipsy, maybe drunk all over the top, and mistakenly has considered the stones who are out in the garden as well as the bushes for some pumpkins. Obviously, the family, as usual, is highly amused about that and tells her, "These pumpkins are making in the garden." Over to you, Mr. Anonymous.
Thank you so much, Dracula. Next, we have Valeria. Valeria Vladkova. Are you ready?
Yeah.
Yeah. It's dark and you're alone. Inside a tunnel, you find a red balloon. Will you take it? Why yes, why no?
It's dark and I'm alone, and inside the tunnel there must be something like smells like Hell-o-ween. In my childhood, those memories of mine, I hated balloons and everything that was connected with balloons. So I guess now, many, many years later, when I'm all alone, grown up in a dark tunnel and seeing a red balloon, would I take it? Maybe someone left it for me. Maybe there was a party and they just forgot the balloon waving on the ceiling. I guess there was a party, so probably I have to take this balloon and see who it belongs to. I guess I would have to take a ladder because the balloon is definitely with helium and it's somewhere out there at the ceiling. So I will have to climb up and catch it. And oops, I see it. And anything written on it? Yes, exactly. There was a Halloween party and the address. I have the address. So probably I have to go there and see what's going on and get this balloon back to the company that left it in this cold, scary, dark tunnel. And I guess I've got something to spend my evening with. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Valeria. So next is The last person is Konstantin. Konstantin, are you ready?
Yep.
You're running like never before. It's following you. What happened next?
Okay. So here's the situation. I'm running like never before, and it's following me. I I also have a flashback from my previous experience when I was living in Thailand. Sometimes I was coming back to my place from parties, and sometimes it was quite late, and if you can imagine, where stray dogs in Asia, they really chill like Buddha dogs during the day because it's really hot, because they really lazy to go around. But when it's dark, when it's at night, they became really vicious, and they became really angry, and they always protect their territory. So it was one of those dogs who was sleeping all day long, resting and chilling, and now she wants to play. She's angry, and she's trying to catch my ass in her jaws. So what happened next? The next thing, I got into my apartment, and I'm saved from the vicious animal, which is really vital skill to run fast. It can help you a lot in your life. Back to you, Mr. Toastmaster.
Thank you, Konstantin. Okay, thank you so much, everyone. So here's the end of the table topic session. Back to you, Toastmaster Michael.
Thank you very much, Mr. Unknown, Unidentified, Evil, Wisdom. I thought some of your questions were very well done. I wish I had a chance to get in there because, boy, oh boy, I think different than the people who spoke. I would have had big monsters of gooey marshmallows attacking my metro, and I would have had witches, teams of witches flying on broomsticks chasing me, and that's why I was running so fast. I would have had very, very spontaneous explosion of enthusiasm for all these things. But that's okay. I've been doing Halloween for almost 70 years, so it's okay. I'm used to these type of things. I get excited about Halloween. So,
but you know, it's not every day in the year, right?
Well, I see Halloween every day when I wake up and look in the mirror, so it's okay, no problem. Okay, Mr. Timer, can we please find out from the
Yes,
timer? How did
absolutely.
Our
Thank you.
go?
Thank you very much, Michael. Mr. Toastmaster Michael, the pirate. So the good news is you can't vote for me, which is actually good because then there's no conflict of interest because I'm the ballot counter. But you can vote for everybody else. So the timing, Irina was 1 minute 59 seconds. Anna was 1 minute 34 seconds. I was 58 seconds. Two, not enough. Walter was 1 minute, right on the button, Walter.
Ooh.
Valeria was 1 minute and 10 seconds, and Konstantin 1 minute and 32 seconds. So I am going to put in the chat in one moment the ballot. If you could please vote shortly on that, I would appreciate that. Over to you, Mr. Toastmaster.
Thank you very, very much. Okay, we don't have a general evaluator today, so I'm going to fill that role and go through. We don't really need a general evaluator until we get to the very end. So I'm going to call on a few people to give us a little feedback. We had a grammarian today. Our grammarian was Irina. She was listening intently and gave us a word called vital. And so now what we need to do is get the vital statistics as to what was the results. Irina, over to you.
Mr. Toastmaster. Good job, everyone. Actually, you made my job really easy today without any, mistakes or anything I want to talk to you about. Just a couple of irregular verbs that became regular in your speech that shouldn't have been regular, and so on. But I'm not going to focus on the issues. I'm going to focus on the great examples of, well, anything that I've heard from your speech. So to start with, Michael used a very nice phrase, to get into the right mode at the very beginning of our session today. Right, this is exactly what we needed, to get into the right mode. Valeria mentioned lots and a lot of nice expressions in her speech, to break the silence, to fish out a memory or a flashback, I don't remember exactly, to fish out a very nice deep phrasal verb there. Awake the passion, fantastic. Then Randall described Michael as a prodigious speaker, emotive speaker, very nice words. I recommend you start using them immediately in his speech. Then Michael used a very nice expression, which I personally didn't know before. I had to check it up, and it's in my personal vocab list now, a rude awakening. Fantastic, didn't know that. Then Rami used, I think, the phrase that usually describes the table topics in general, to think on their feet, because people need to think on their feet when they participate in the table topics. And one phrase for me, gregarious creatures, because this is the word that I learned not so long time ago. I wanted to use it in my speech and to let you guys know it, that people are gregarious creatures. Meaning sociable, living in the society. As for the word of the day, I'm very happy. I've heard it many times. I didn't count the repetitions when you just said, oh yeah, it's vital, it's vital. I counted it as one, right? Because you were just repeating it. So the champion of the word of the day is Michael, with 3 times when he used it. Then Rendell with 2. And Anna with 1. Thank you very much, everyone.
Very, very good report. It's always vital to get those statistics. Absolutely. Yes, yes, yes. Shinsaku, are you still with us?
Sorry. My PC condition doesn't well because my face I can't show you. So
Understand.
because, oh yeah. The AU counters, Lando is 7 times, and Mikhail is 2 times, and Irina is 2 times, and Valeria is 0, and Konstantin is over 10. And Rani is 3 times, Anna 3 times, Walter 3 times. Sorry, I couldn't count the earlier. Maybe my count is over 10, I guess. Thank you very much.
Yeah, Shinsaku, thank you very, very much for participating today. We understand because most of us have experienced it sometime during our Zoom career when the signal has been weaker and we either had to go with video or go with voice, one or the other. So you went with voice, and I appreciate your participation today. Thank you very, very much. I'm glad to have that. Randall, are we ready to vote on the table topics?
Yes, Michael, the link is in the chat. If everybody could vote, we need 3 more people still I'm waiting for.
Okay, thank you. If you haven't already done it, go to the chat, find the message from Randall, and vote on the table topics. I have not done that, so I will do that now. So everybody should have voted, or near everybody has voted. And we're going to look for our report from the general evaluator while our counter, person who does the tabulation, adds up the votes and sends the information over to Walter. So Walter can present the winners for the speech and for the table topics. But also, before we get there, we need what? We need evaluations. Yeah, don't forget about the evaluations, Michael. Silly guy you are. Okay, so as general evaluator, I have 3 people who are assisting me. Actually, I have 2 people who are assisting me today. And I would ask those evaluators to please give us the evaluations. Now, on the first speech This was by Valeria, and her evaluator was Walter. So Walter, will you please give us your evaluation of Valeria's speech?
There we go. Thank you very much for the movement of your limbs. I highly appreciate it, although my deaf world does not see this very often. Dear Valeria, I would like to provide you a feedback and make it very personal. I had a little bit of time to think about it, and I decided to make it short and crisp. I know that you've been a very experienced speaker. Everyone could tell just by the sheer fact as your language is as sharp and crisp as and understandable, which is an instrument and tool you're very aware of, which is fantastic. Above all, your intonations during this speech and your rhetorical mastermind allows you to build those stories which we were very pleased to be part of today. Thank you very much for taking us today on this journey, who you opened up very professionally with a remark and then guiding it towards the core of it all, the passion. On this passion, I remember it because you used very, very fantastically the weight and ton of kilograms what happens to a word when you make a pause. And this is fantastic because everyone could tell how you use those pauses to gain weight to the most important aspect. This you've mastered very, very, very great. I think it is not news that you managed to tell this story through a drama dip, the drama dip which you opened up with your personal and very private story, saying or giving a hint that you were probably misguiding by the world, becoming a pianist, as far as I remember. And then going out of it as the hero's journey, a perfect setup for guiding towards where you are now with living your passion and teaching and evaluating. Above all, the one thing I would very highly recommend you to upgrade your skills is with your face, with your impressions, please use your gestures, even if it's difficult, because you're so emotional as a person, as a storyteller, that we would love to feel and see this energy, or me, myself in general, because I think you restrict yourself a little bit on that by being tied. By being tied, there we go, to it. Yes, I think 1.5 meters probably would make a difference here. Cut a long story short, thank you very much for such an inspiring speech, being so personally with us. And I think everyone during his life eventually goes through those moments of what passion means for him and which direction he wants to take on. Thank you very much for taking on this role. And I wish you to bring more energy in your next speeches through your body. Thank you very much, Valeria.
Thank you, Walter. Thank you. It's a technique that many speakers forget and think about since they've gone from stand-up. If you put Valeria in front of a lectern or a crowd at a table where she could stand there and speak, she probably would move beautifully. But in Zoom and in this media, it's a little bit more difficult. So we need to think about that. And one way to do that is record yourself so you can see what it's going to look like and then play it back and figure if you can move. But great job. Thank you very, very much, Walter. Appreciate that. Our second speaker was myself, and my evaluator is going to be Olga, who's coming to us all the way from Johannesburg, South Africa. My ship sailed down there a few years ago, and when I went through, I ran past her and made friends with her. So now she's coming back, and she's going to give me my evaluation. Olga, will you please provide the evaluation?
Right. Thank you, Mr. Toastmaster. What Mr. Toastmaster forgot to mention was that he stole my gold on the way away from Johannesburg. Michael, thank you very much for your speech. As always, I love the way you tell stories. I love the way you use emotive language, just like Randall mentioned. You're a very emotional and emotive speaker. And I absolutely love how you use your words, how to both tell us about your feelings, how you feel about the situations that you describe, and also to convey the atmosphere that you were surrounded by. I thought this was particularly well used when you were talking about the different countries where you were at. So telling us about the warm Eastern countries, Asian countries, and then telling us how, you know, you were shivering when you got to Russia, cold, dark, all those words that you used to both describe your experience and then support it with the gestures that you were using. I thought that was fantastic, and it created a very nice atmosphere. I also, going back to the beginning of your speech, I loved how you just jumped straight in with that comment where you told us about, well, you asked the audience whether we could use a Russian proverb to start a negotiation, which is, I don't think, something that we think about in general. And I love how you used that in the ending where you resolved that question for us in your conclusion. I thought that was very well done. As some recommendations, what I think could help us receive your message even better, I noticed that although your use of gestures is very animated and very apt, I feel that we also saw them very much in the screen. So when you were talking about widespread, I noticed that you were a little bit limited in your space. I don't know if it's possible in your setting, but maybe when you deliver speeches, either, you know, stand up so that we can, you know, see the range of your body motions, or maybe just raise them above the screen so that they're not below our line of vision. I think that would help. And then another thing, I think this might have popped up in another evaluation that I did for one of your speeches, but there's a lot of content in your talks. There's always a lot for us to take in. And I feel in comparison, the introduction and the conclusion are a little bit small. I feel that as an audience, it's always nice for us to be primed as to what you're going to be talking about, so that we also know what's going to happen, that we're ready for it. So giving us a little bit of more of an introduction about maybe why negotiations are important, or what will we be looking out for in your speech? Will it be 3 points? Will it be a takeaway message that we'll have to hear? And maybe also summarizing it in the end. So as a summary, continue doing what you're doing, keep using your words as masterfully as you do it, keep using your gestures, bring that energy, it's fantastic. And also just maybe use a little bit more space if you can, and be more mindful of the introduction, the priming that you do. But overall, good luck with your future projects, and thank you again for your speech. Mr.
Great.
Toastmaster, over to you.
Thank you very much, Olga. Point well taken. And I'm especially happy today when I found out that you were going to be my evaluator, because you have evaluated me before. And I think that really adds credence to what you said before and what you have said now. Your words are a little bit different. So I fixed some of the things you have mentioned, and I still got more room for improvement. That's for sure. So thank you very, very much. Our third speaker today was Constantine. I don't know where he went from the screen. Did he? Oh, there he is. I got you. Is that a bear or a mouse? I'm not quite sure what that is.
Bear. Of course, it's Consta Bear.
He's a Russian bear, huh? Okay, all right. So the Russian bear is going to have Walter as his evaluator today. So I'll turn it over to Walter, Dracula Walter. Mm-hmm.
Thank you very much, Captain. Thank you very much. It's a pleasure for evaluating Consta Bear today as well. Let's kick it off then. Dear Consta Bear, thank you very much for delivering such a nice and interesting topic, as well as your goal was today of providing a new or uncommon topic to an uncommon audience, which we are. Let's start with the technical part and then come to the personal part. The technical part, which is just what the requirements are here. Did you speak clearly? Yes, you did. Did you use tone, speed, and volume? Yes, you did. However, as a bear, having a tendency from a Russian perspective, probably running on a monotone road and then going fast forward, probably you could use a bit more intonation throughout your speech. Although when you open up, you started throughout the speech, it was a little bit monotone, but at the very end, you really got active as the bear who sees the fish, which is very good. And I think you could use it much more often throughout the speech. Keeping on with your physical gestures as well here. I know bears are very tied to walking on their floor and have no space for using it a lot. But when they reach the river, they are very active. And I could see at the very end, when you became emotionally, that your face smiled, you opened up. You were not showing the history facts to us or to me, but you opened and spoke directly to me. And this is something which I think you could focus much more on. Also, giving yourself the picture that you talk to Mama Bear and Papa Bear and other bears from the very beginning. You're not teaching in front of a class, but you're in the crowd, because that's what takes us with us on your journey. And let me finish off with having thank you, or having the need to thank you as well for picking such a topic. For me personally, this topic is a taboo. I declined everything in my life which has to do with weapons, because from my cross-cultural background through wars and so forth, our family was always migrated and moving and so forth. However, I ignored this topic. And as history teaches us, very often we find situations, as you've just provided, that I could, through history and a lot of fantastic facts of naming the history of weapons as a primary source of protection, as well as other cultures treating these weapons, for really giving me a nice perspective of how much more of an important issue this is. And the absence of it is probably my dream world than the need for humankind to learn how to use it properly. Thank you very much, Konstantin. Bear, highly appreciate it.
Thank you, Dracula. Appreciate that. And Constantine, you're lucky he didn't draw any blood during the evaluation, so you're okay. You probably still have all your blood, but I recommend that you don't go out after 5. He may be seeking some refill of his energy. So he said he didn't have any, couldn't find no blood at home because his wife took it all. So he was running around looking for it. So he may be going out after 5 to find some. That could be very, very dangerous for all of us. Okay, Mr. Ballot counter, have you got the times for our 3 evaluators?
Yes, as your ballot counter, timer, and joke master, I can happily announce that Walter Schwartz spoke for 3 minutes and 20 seconds with his first evaluation. Olga Gusyeva spoke 3 minutes and 28 seconds, just under the wire to be eligible for the vote today. And on his second evaluation, Walter shaved off half a minute, so almost 3 minutes and 4 seconds. So
very good.
Eligible, and I will put the voting link in the chat within a few seconds. Over to you, Mr. Toastmaster.
Okay, very, very good. So while I'm doing my wrap up as Toastmaster and giving it to Mr. General Evaluator, which is also me, I won't take long. But while I'm doing that, if everyone will please go to the chat box and find Randall's input there so that oh, who's leaving? Anna's leaving. No problem, Anna. Where are you at, Anna? She already gone?
Yeah,
oh, there
yeah.
she is down there, Anna. I see it. Yes, ma'am. You go right ahead, Anna, and jump right in.
Thank you so much for letting me to jump in. So today I'm your quiz master, and I'm going to bring a little bit fun for today meeting. So let's begin our question quiz contest, and the first one, and I'm waiting for your answers in the chat box. So the first question is, what could mislead Valeria in her past? Anyone? Any ideas? No.
No,
Yeah, not exactly.
no, she wanted to be a pianist.
Passion.
No, misleading.
So, if I'm not mistaken, the right answer was her outstanding meeting with her teacher. Who asked her to check all these dictionary dictations of students. So kind of child flashback, yes. Okay, the next one. Whom should we ask? What do we really want to do, according to Valeria? Yay, inner child! Olga, you are absolutely right. Super, thank you. Okay, next one. What was the year when Michael did open his office in India? India. No.
60? No.
No.
I'm not that old, people. Come on.
Yes, Rami, you're right. Super, thank you. Okay, the next one. What was a tough option for Michael when he was going to leave Malaysia? Yes, super. Thank you, Walter. Super, thank you. Okay, the tough one. Why does fish cross the road?
Why did who?
Fish.
Fish. Oh, to join the school. Oh.
Yeah, okay. Okay, yes. And the next one, where did Constantine start his studying? Rami, it isn't exactly. Yes, thank you, Randall. You're right. Super. Great. And the last one, according to Constantine, should we allow everyone to walk through the streets with guns? Yes, super, Walter. You're right. You're the winner for the last question. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much, Anna. It's nice when the questions are just a little bit more challenging, and you did a good job. You challenged us, especially with that first one. So I felt a few of those were a little bit difficult. And if you didn't listen to Randall's jokes real well, and if you didn't know English from our Canadian American viewpoint, that might have been a little bit difficult. But the fish wanted to get to the school. You know, fishes go around in schools and they try to ride across the road. Very interesting. Okay. Randall, now you should have it in the box for the voting on the evaluators, right? Or did we already do that? We really did that,
Yep,
right?
we've already.
Okay, so all the voting's done. No
shared.
more voting, right? No more voting. It's all done, right?
There could still be someone voting for the best evaluator. I've got registered 7 votes. If someone didn't vote,
oh,
please do
missing
so.
an evaluator vote. All right. All right. Well, I'm just going to give you a couple moments here because I'm going to wrap things up as
we have 10 people today, so there should be 10 votes.
Okay, and for everybody else's information, Anna has to leave to teach a class here very shortly, so she may drop out before we finish the total meeting. So Anna,
Yeah.
thank you very much for attending. So we appreciate it.
Thank you for the meeting. Yeah, I have to leave. Thank you so much. Bye.
Bye-bye. Yeah, she has a job where she has to teach English to some folks, and she has to coming up in just a few minutes, so she has to leave. Okay, as a Toastmaster today, I wanted to bring a little bit of Halloween theme to the meeting. So I dressed up in character and I started out talking a little bit about Halloween. And I think that the meeting went well as a Toastmaster. I enjoyed it very, very much. I had a good time. I think our grammarian and our Shinshaku from Japan jumped in there to do our accounting. The grammarian, the accountant, Walter took on actually 3 roles, I believe, total. Randall's got 2 or 3 roles. Everybody pitched in, and this is what makes Toastmasters work. If you don't have people who will participate and jump in to take something when it's needed, it doesn't work. Toastmaster is supposed to build leaders, and leaders volunteer when they see a need. So if you see a need, you get proactive, you reach in and take it. Proactive is very, very important feature as a leader. And we all are supposed to be learning to be better leaders as well as better communicators. And I think we're going in the right direction to do that. Okay, Mr. Toastmaster today, I'm going to give it over to our general evaluator before he gives it to the president. Let's go to the general evaluator. Okay, general evaluation. We started late. Thank you. This club has a problem that we need to work on. We are starting our meetings late. I go to many different meetings around the world, as well as Valeria and other people go to. Almost always, 90% of the people show up 15 minutes early. Very, very few people come at the very end. Most people are on board 15, 20 minutes ahead of time. Usually the room's open 15 minutes or more. Today it was open 30 minutes early. You could have joined early. We need, as a club, we need to work better on that. We need to improve our discipline a little bit. And if we do improve our discipline, I think we will get things done, because when we are here and we ask people to volunteer, all the slots fill up. And if you wait to the last minute to show up and we've got a slot or two to fill up, it causes anxiety, it causes stress, it causes some unnecessary stress on the Toastmaster, the president, the vice president of education. You're causing us to have extra stress. Help us by showing up a little bit early and volunteering to fill the positions. I'm sure you can do it. They're not that complicated. Usually the more complicated positions are taken by somebody who has a little bit more time in Toastmasters so they can go through it. So please, please be on time and trying to volunteer. Everybody participated. There's nobody on the screen today that I can see of the 9 of us, and Anna included, she's gone, who did not speak today. And I thought that was very good. We got every single person involved. Sometimes when you go to a club, if they got 25 or 30 people on board, they don't get everybody involved. In a small club like ours, we have that opportunity. So we took the opportunity and everybody got involved. So we need to start on time, have a little bit more discipline, sign up earlier for positions, and make sure you keep everybody involved. That's my general evaluation for today. I'm going to turn it back over to our illustrious Dracula president. And I hope he's not going to go out and seek too much blood tonight. I'm going to stay indoors just in case, but he's probably going to have to go out and look for a refill. Mr. President, it's been an honor to be your Toastmaster today. Over to you.
Thank you very much, Captain. Thank you very much. You know that blood can be only sucked out from those who have it, don't you? So there we go. Back to our closing note. I am not sure if I've received the results, because I would love to present some awards right now. Or do we not have that bit?
The awards are ready. The award presentation is ready, Mr. President. The present. I have a presentation ready. Whenever you want to. Share,
okay,
like
okay,
now.
okay. I'm a little bit. Yes, then please. I would love everyone to be on our presentation ceremony and take part of it. So this would be the moment. Is that something, Randall? Yeah, there we go. Okay, I was not sure who's gonna do it. Cool. Now,
are you ready?
What is that?
You're supposed to do that. Michael Waiter, present the awards. But I'm gonna do it right now and present the best evaluator for today. Goes to, and now I want everyone to present his fingers and drums. Walter! Very good. I think that's only due to the fact that it was twice on the list. But I think that's good. I love those rules. Good. I'm very, very happy. That's the day of celebration, not only my wife's birthday, but the winner. Let's see what the future brings. We have some more awards. The best table topic award goes to Irina, Dracula, and Constable. Was that possible? Oh, they were all equal.
9 people. Nine
Oh, right.
nine votes.
Blimey, fantastic. That's good. We're gonna cut this piece into pieces, into 3 pieces, and send it over. And last but not least today, the best speaker award for the Hell-o-ween Toastmaster session in St. Petersburg goes to Valeria Холодкова. A very warm congratulations on behalf of our entire club in St. Petersburg at this Halloween session to all the winners. And thank you very much to all participants. It's always good and sometimes sharp, sometimes challenging, sometimes happy, sometimes frustrated to be evaluated. But when it comes to an end and you be the winner, sometimes it can make up for it. Very warm, very well done. And thank you very much for being with us today.